And welcome back. Now, there's lots of course, ways to approach getting iron to enter the nether. With an ocean spawn, you can enter through a buried treasure, or we can see them enter through a shipwreck. We'll have to see. There's lots of options for these runners, but we're going to see them instantly start getting wood right in front of them soon. And they'll be off to the races. I think this is going to be, like I said, this is really interesting. Both very, very skilled runners, similar-ish PBs, within 50 seconds or so. So just really, really skilled runners. And you can see we're starting 3, 2, 1.
All right.
And they're off. They're off and they are going.
Yeah,
and you can see.
Right. It is an island. So.
And yeah, we can see they are searching around for a shipwreck. Rain spots 1 is trying to find the best route here. There's lots of ways. I believe that shipwreck didn't have food in it. So Rain just looking around to try to see the optimal route, the intended route. Which is something that is important to look for in a tournament seed, as both runners instantly starting off. Looks like Doug maybe a little bit ahead here, instantly getting
Doug set about getting his wood, so I wonder if he knows if there's a shipwreck yet. I mean, he's probably assuming that based on the spawn, but I don't think he's located it quite yet. Yeah, as you see, he's looking now.
So looking around, and this looked to be, unless I missaw, it looked to be a half shipwreck, but we'll have to see as we get closer to it. That was the correct choice. And additionally, we can see, it's a little nerve-wracking though with that half shipwreck. Of course, only having. Oh, interesting. We see Rain getting a chest here, trying to get maybe a little bit of food and maybe a treasure map.
It's 1 piece of bread, so.
Yeah, so definitely an interesting decision there. But now looking around,
had no food.
Yeah, and trying to get some iron here next. That's of course essential to get into the nether. It looks like Rain may be going to a different area than Doug is. Doug now entering the nether here, no food, which is scary. Entering the nether with no food is concerning, but with hunger resets and other methods, you can of course be all right. As we can see, Rain going to a different shipwreck, but this one should have a little food.
Yeah, hunger resets are definitely good for tourneys. But like going in with no food and potentially dying is a huge risk, since you can't just reset and like really easily catch back up. So getting food is pretty important.
I think that's absolutely true. It is interesting to see different ways of playing. Of course, in a tournament, you need to finish the run. That is essential. And when you're going for a PB, the second things get slow, you just reset. No problem. But in a tournament setting, it's very important to keep your to make sure you're playing for the completion, because at the end of the day, it's not about who gets the fastest run. You do have to finish the run. It's not you don't get multiple chances. There's not different opportunities. You can't go into another seed. And so with that, it's very important to play safe. And Rain choosing to go for a little bit of food there might give him the edge. It might give him the edge.
Rain was able to get 14 carrots, so potentially it could craft golden carrots if he gets enough gold. And then Doug did get Hogland, so he has some food now. Oh, yeah. These piglins are having some trouble. So.
Oh no, and Doug getting some pearls, but also taking some heavy damage here from the piglins, but able to narrowly escape.
So even though Rain entered after, he does have the advantage of having a bit more food. And but I did see Doug got a fortress, so we know there's a fortress, so they're looking for the bastion.
As we see Rain continuing on here and searching for these various structures.
Oh, getting those pearls was definitely a smart play.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that.
I guess that treasure's just across the lava lake.
I mean, that is a massive time save for Doug.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that's a super obvious play. I'm not even 100% sure that Rain even has gold available to trade.
I don't believe so. He might have at the shipwreck, because I think there was some gold in the shipwreck. So that's how Doug got his gold. But that gas almost just knocked Doug off. That was very lucky. He got in just in time. But yeah, I believe, Rain should have some gold, but I wonder if they're going to end up being at different bastions because of, like, where it is. But this is definitely a huge save for Doug, and great time.
I mean, this is a massive lead. We can see just the slightly riskier play style here from Doug absolutely paying off with those pearls. And now It looks like actually
yeah,
Reign, though, heading to a different bastion. This is a completely different bastion. We got a housing bastion here for Reignex, while Doug is at a treasure. I do think that the proximity, though, for Doug being right next to the fortress, I think it still puts him at a pretty significant lead here. Though we'll have to see.
Reign has to run a little bit to get to his bastion, but he does have his boat, so he's all set. Because Doug is already able to start on his out, but treasure tends to be a bit faster in splits. And also housing seems to be more consistent. Well, it is more consistent. So we'll see how this turns out. This Reign has made it to his bastion, so it is dry. Pretty half dry, I guess.
Yeah, this is definitely good stuff for Reign. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this pans out, because I do think that Doug is still at a pretty significant lead just with the proximity primarily. But
and Reign, he does have a very close fortress, whereas this bastion that Reign found, I don't think it has a close enough fortress.
Yeah, we can see Reign just finishing up this manhunt route here. It's throwing them the last bits of gold, and it will be checking the chests soon. Meanwhile, Doug finishing up his treasure route here, and will hopefully be leaving this very, very soon. You can see on 16 obsidian there, able to leave, ideally on 20 obsidian. Hopefully that will happen soon. I will say, I don't know. There you go, 20 obsidian there for Doug. But I will say, Reign not on as much obsidian, at least yet. It doesn't, to me, so far, Doug's route seems to be the intended one.
Yeah, and Doug is already pulling to that fortress over there, so very, very good pearl. Look at that. Great clutch as well.
Very interesting. As we see,
Doug definitely has a significant lead in this round.
It's just a different style of play, slightly riskier, slightly less. Those risks just have paid off here, and that is, it's always good to see in tournaments. It's always fun, but Reign playing a little bit more cautious.
Especially when you get the runners in different bastions, it's just really interesting to see. Reign did get his food, but now that Doug has some food, and he's way ahead at this point, so. Go Dorothy, yep, real.
And now we see Doug finishing off some of these blazes, not changing render distance. Generally, we'll see runners lowering that render distance to 5 in a Soul Sand Valley, but maybe they're overthinking it or not wanting to risk the having too many mobs around him. So
the risk with
we will have to see.
5RD is that you get a lot more wither skeletons as well. So we'll see what he decides to do. I mean, there are already plenty without 5RD, so you can just imagine. And I'm sure multiple of you have seen how many there can become.
Well, there seems to be some sort of bug here for Doug. I don't know what's going on, but
like he's lagging.
Yeah, it looks like all the mobs are frozen. This is really not good.
I've never seen this happen on a single player world.
Yeah, this is very, very odd. Looks like he's going to be relogging now. Meanwhile, Reign purling to the fortress. That's definitely an unfortunate technical difficulty for Doug.
This world saving is taking a hot minute, too. Oh, no.
Yeah, definitely seems like there's some sort of... Oh, it looks like we have a game crash here.
Yeah, I think it's game crash. Monka.
That is definitely unfortunate for Doug.
Good too. Oh my god.
The lead was strong.
All right.
Launching Minecraft back up. Hopefully things will be okay. Hopefully he won't be dead. That's the main concern there.
I hope he's not too. Holy. And I mean, even if he's set back, like the main thing is he's not dead. I hope. He's back in the.
Oh, what? That is. Looks like the autosave. Yeah, so that was the autosave, I believe. That was on the 5-minute mark, right? Is where he's gotten back to. That does make sense. And now, so he's essentially lost 3 minutes that he had to route this run. That's definitely frustrating. That's a frustrating loss there.
Hopefully he can. Oh, he's just gonna. What's he gonna do? Looks like he's
Looks like now Reign has paused as well, so it seems like there's some sort of issue here. That's That's definitely a frustrating moment.
Okay.
I don't know if you can
be rematched since of the
rematch. Yeah, that probably is fair. Not really
fair.
much you can do. Doug was ahead and just game crash back down to the 5-minute mark. So really just unfortunate stuff. But the runners are warming up. They are, I guess you could see that as a warm up round itself. So unfortunate, but we'll get back into it shortly.
Great play by Doug. We definitely want to still highlight how amazing Doug played that beginning. Even Reign being able to stay pretty on pace, even though he had a slower Bastion enter. They were so very close.
Yeah, and
Reign routing treasure here.
Yeah, we can see Reign using all the newest. I believe this route is called Lava Billion. I think is this route, though not 100% sure. It's a newer route, and we can see the piglins coming in here as Reignex continues on. Maybe we'll see that, though. Last time we saw Doug routing the Bastion, or routing the treasure, rather. So, maybe this time we'll see Reign routing the treasure and execute that strategy. But there's lots of different treasure routes. It's always interesting to see the newest ones.
Runners booting up the next seeds.
Yes, so, we have the runners.
Rematch. Very unfortunate.
Getting ready to go. New seed, fresh start. That's probably the most fair thing to do. Unfortunate. Bit of a time loss for the viewers here, but regardless, we're getting right back into things.
I could not tell what was going on Doug's screen for a moment, but I see it looks like it's a village spawn. Yeah. So unfortunately, Doug did have that ghost nether. It rarely happens, but really unlucky. But rematch, fair for both runners. Still incredibly played that first couple minutes by both runners. So if they can use that as a warm up. Really cool seed though. I loved Doug's use of the pearls to get to that treasure. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was really, really well played there. Using just a little bit of gold, trading it up, and just using everything from that trading. I think that's really smart.
And
as we
Reign,
see,
his face is on a wall, so
it looks like we got a village on this spawn. So definitely different style of play, but we'll have to see how this routing goes.
I wonder what would make you think it's a village spawn.
It looks like it's going to be interesting to see. Last time we saw some somewhat cautious play from Reign. I'm curious to look in, this match. One very easy way to judge kind of riskiness is how many beds you get at a village. The more beds, of course, the safer it is moving forward in the run. I'm curious to see if Doug is going to take less going into this because, last time we saw him take no food going into the nether, and the equivalent to a village run is taking less beds. Curious to see how this will pan out here.
Because even though getting less beds requires you to get more string in the Bastion, getting less beds then, getting more beds then saves you that time in the Bastion. So it's both good strategy. Obviously, one can be more risky because you have to rely on string trades. So we'll see what they decide to do. But I believe Doug had a pause because Rand did not have his timer set up. So runners are figuring it out.
Few technical difficulties, but it will commence shortly. I'm definitely curious. That first round, really, really clean play from Doug.
Crashed. All right.
I see. First, we have a game crash, and now a timer crashing. It is unfortunate stuff here so far, but looks like things are getting ready. They're almost ready and good to go. But yeah, I'm really, really sharp play from Doug in that first round, or at least the pre-round, whatever you want to call it. That earlier, good sharp play from Doug, playing risky, working out perfectly for him, really. And Reign also playing well, but yeah.
Reign moved his mouse on accident. Oh no! Oh my god.
It is unfortunate, and now Reign has.
But we're good.
Surely they will get things together soon.
We got this. It's all right. Keep on pushing through. We're good.
They've got their timers good to go.
All right.
And it looks like these runners will be starting very shortly.
A little bit scuffed at the beginning there, but all good. Neither of them have moved out of their spawn position, so.
And the runners are beginning soon here. we will see the difference in routing. Slightly different spawns, but it looks like they're very close to one another.
Yeah.
As we begin in 3, 2, 1, and they are off. So a village here with a blacksmith. That is obviously good. Let's see what this blacksmith has to offer, if it will be any good at all. Reign instantly going for that. Meanwhile, Doug choosing to go instead for a different house to start mining away at the wood here.
This bastion this bastion. This is definitely a bastion. This blacksmith has some apples in it. But also they're probably gonna go for bread. So as we see Doug doing.
Yes,
Villagers are great for food. So.
Going for the hay bales there. We can see.
Doug was looking for an enter. But
yeah.
I don't know if you saw one or not.
Very common play, of course, looking around while you're moving. Reign just had a slightly different spawn, so not doing as much of that searching before entering the blacksmith. I digress. The seed looks solid. Definitely a playable seed. You're gonna have to go for a golem here to get a bucket. Of course, in that village, the blacksmith, unfortunately, not having 7 iron, which is what you need to fully skip the yeah, this is what you need to fully skip the golem. But regardless, Reign continues on.
Both of them grabbing at least one bed, I believe. I was not sure if they picked up more or not. They both grabbed that one yellow bed.
Yeah, it's pretty common practice not to grab too many beds.
Yeah.
You know, the more beds you grab, of course, that just takes time, and you know, you don't want to waste too much time when you can get string in the bastion. However, on the flip side, you can also leave the bastion sooner if you don't need as many more beds. Oh, however, there looks like there's another blacksmith here.
Oh.
Oh wow! So that is that is frustrating.
That is nice. That is nice.
It is nice, but at the same time, it does suck that Reign was unable to get that before killing the golem, and now has to continue on with an extra 8 gold.
I believe that is an enter on Reign's screen. Yep, they both are heading toward that lava pool. Looks like, is it the same? Yeah, it's the same lava pool. Just coming in from different angles.
And yeah, so I mean, pretty similar pace here from both runners. I think that it looks like Reign may have a slight edge, but it is very small, if that.
Yeah, and I believe both of them only grabbed 1 or maybe 2 beds. So both of them will have to wait for more string in the bastion. But yeah, I see one bed from Doug. So even grabbing 1 could be a good buffer. So bastion.
And wow, look at that nether. That is fantastic. Another treasure here.
Nether, yep.
So we will see more treasure routing come, looking like that warm-up practice for Reign is going to pay off, hopefully. And we're going to see this lava billion route. I'm very excited to see this executed. And yeah, so we continue on. Both runners, again, very similar pace here as Reign turns down the render distance, of course, to block the blazes from shooting, as it is a proper bastion here for both runners. I mean, that is you definitely don't want to get shot, and you know, of course, turning down the render will prevent the blazes from doing so. Good play there from Reign, and not seeing that play from Doug.
This movement
makes me a little nervous.
Reign, it's very beautiful. I will say that.
And oh no, actually, this is jackpot route coming out for Reign, so slightly different. And we will see just, you know, different plays here
and Doug
from these runners.
He did get shot by a blaze, so turning on that render was a very good play by Reign.
Yeah, and so, bam. I mean, that's a perfect example. One runner choosing the slightly safer. I mean, it does take a few seconds to turn down your render, but saving, you know, some health is definitely good. Hopefully, Doug didn't get too punished by that play not to do it, but we'll see if that will change moving forward. As we have Doug throwing these piglins into a pit while Reign throws it down into his pit below.
Yeah. Both different routes, but let's see what turns out. They are, again, incredibly on pace together, so looks like Reign might be still a bit ahead, though, especially with this route.
Reign is a very experienced bastion runner, always on top of the newest strategies. So I would expect Reign's, I guess maybe my biases in my head would expect Reign to maybe have a slight edge going into just a, you know, a bastion race. But we'll see. We'll see. Different routes have different advantages and whatnot. So, you know, one route may be faster in some situations, but slower in others. So definitely have to see the result
either way,
here.
the traits are standardized. So both
Yes,
runners
true.
will get the trades they need.
True. And we can see Reign now leaving the Bastion, able to head instantly to the fortress, turning on the 5RD, but oh no, getting hit for a lot of damage there. This is not looking good for Reign. Maybe able to escape here. Looking good. Okay, looking good.
Okay. No more Wither. All right.
It's a bit scary, of course.
That is a
with those
lot
black
of
hearts.
skeletons. Holy. Ooh, Doug almost taking that death there.
Oh, wow. Like, scary stuff here for both runners now, as Reign barely escaping again. And this time able to knock off a bunch of those Wither skeletons. Really, really good stuff there from Reign.
Yeah.
And Doug now trying to escape these Wither skeletons as well, barely blocking them.
Yeah, we saw in the last Fortress as well that Doug did not turn down his render. So I wonder if he's going to do it this time. Or if he's just
already so many strays. I don't know if it's really even needed.
Yeah.
There's already a lot of stuff. This is messy stuff. A messy seed, but a very good one if played well. But oh no, Doug.
Okay,
that's a death here for Doug, I think. Oh no, is that a death? Yes, that's a death there for Doug.
He saved all of his things, so he can run back very quickly. Oh,
and Reign is almost dying.
Holy. Both runners.
What?
Having insane falls. Doug having to run back. Reign clutching up. But a very low health.
A terrifying seed, really, frankly, for both runners. But
the height of that fall, just the clutching. At least they have plenty of pearls to pearl clutch if they need to.
Doug entering the nether again.
Reign stuck on
searching around for the stuff.
These blazes too.
Hearts,
a bit of
agri cubes, blazes, lots of stuff that can do damage to them. Gotta be careful, but these are looking.
Doug needs blocks to get back to his stuff, so.
These are looking okay here for Reign. Meanwhile, Doug trying to make his way back. Can't see more Wither skeletons. Just the Wither skeleton spawns here.
Not having a pearl here to get to his stuff. He's trying to look at it. But I believe his stuff is just right down there, yeah. He's gonna hay bale clutch.
Here we go. We're gonna see a hay bale clutch from Doug. Good stuff. But two skeletons. That's I mean, I don't know if there's any way to avoid this death here now. I think this might be another death here for Doug. Yep, there's another death for this. That's just an unlucky spawn.
Yeah, he's gonna get some stuff now. Whereas we see the fast F5 right there, out of frustration. I would be very frustrated too. Very sad fag. And Reign was able to save everything, and he is hitting more of his rods at the moment. See, Doug does have his stuff, so he can get back there within time. He'll be able to catch back up, hopefully.
Yes, as we see Reign bringing a fire resistance potion. Oh my god, as he falls very deep.
Be careful with gravel.
Skeleton behind, gassed on him. 2 hearts. Can he escape this? Reign once again seeming to narrowly avoid.
He does have all of his rods though, so
at
least he does not have to go back. Which is very unlucky for Doug as he's trying to get back to his stuff at the moment.
Wow. That is just unbelievably close once again. But Reign doing an excellent job staying calm, staying on point, and just not taking a death, and now blinding at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Not bad at all. Very, very well played to Reign here. Meanwhile, Doug,
this time as well.
Yeah, Doug trying to survive this. This is going to be very hard. Skeleton can he escape?
A little bit further away, but it's still aggro.
Okay, all right. So he looking good here, but definitely behind Reign.
Luckily, the skeleton will only be able to shoot him once, so he's all right. A little bit behind Reign, but he's still in this. Obviously, Reign is gonna get to the stronghold probably a lot quicker at this moment, but Doug is still pushing through. We love to see that.
As we see Reign swimming his way to the stronghold here, while Doug climbs up.
I wonder if this will be exposed.
Yeah, of course, there's always that possibility. I did not catch the distance check there from Reign as he turns down his render to 2. This is to hopefully catch a dolphin in the hopes that, dolphins just move a little bit quicker, so you can just save, just a few seconds there. As he does catch a dolphin right there. And we'll probably turn his render back up at some point. There you go. Beautiful. Turning it right back up. And now Reign is on his way. And, just save him a few seconds. Of course, that's good. The dolphin leaves him, but still probably a time save of some sort, even if it is rather small.
And Doug's still finding his places.
Yeah, Doug looking around, not on 5RD, so not as many spawns as we saw Reign with earlier, but still, getting some strays, playing it safe, missing a rod there, unfortunately, but, playing it safe. And, oh no, 2 wither skeletons, though, as I say that, and this does not look, it's not good. Okay, no, he's okay.
All right, he's all right.
He's calm, he's collected, and he's going back up to this blaze spawner as he's going to try to finish off this seed.
And Reign's still throwing a chuck and pearls, so he's plenty of food, luckily, so he can waste his pearls.
Well, yeah, plenty of food, and even beyond that, plenty of pearls. Which you can use to, you can use that to hunger reset and reset your hunger. And so, there's lots of choices here for Reign. Throwing the pearls, I definitely think is good. Saving
for sure.
Plenty of time. You get about 75 or so distance with each pearl there, so you can get, pretty quickly with a lot of food and whatever else. You can get pretty quickly to the stronghold, even if it is far.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I saw Doug had 7 rods yet or not. He's throwing a pearl, so I'm assuming he does. No.
And looking like he's going to go for educated here.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Reign instead going for more of a just a blind, just different styles there, but good stuff.
Especially Reign is much further ahead at the moment because of Doug's death.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this educated can get him any closer of a blind or a second portal. And
we see Reign on top of an extreme hills here, throwing some more pearls. Hopefully going to be approaching the stronghold soon. 14 Eyes of Ender to his name. That is plenty to, there's a very low chance of a missed, running out of eyes here for Reign. So that's definitely looking good.
And it looks like he's going to do yeah. He does have apples left, so he does not necessarily have to death reset. So, but just, it looks like he's going to.
Yeah, he's going to go for that.
Probably, apples aren't the best source of food. They're good for the end, I'd say,
well, they just don't quite heal you up as quickly as other forms of food. The saturation's just not quite as good. And, unfortunately, as he does have a lot, but it's just slow. Yeah, exactly. It's just faster.
Resetting is definitely faster.
And so Reign choosing instead to just reset his hunger fully. You can see the eye seeming to turn maybe a little bit. It's hard to tell.
Looks like it. Very far blind for Reign. You've seen him throw multiple pearls. It looks like Doug is getting ready to build a second portal here. So we'll see if his educated choice decided to get him any closer.
Yeah, I mean, if executed properly, it definitely could. You see on top of maybe a different stronghold.
That is also a potential, yeah.
Or it could be also the extreme hills that Reign approached earlier. I'm not sure. It's a little bit hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah.
But Reign digging down at 1325. Definitely looking promising for him. Definitely, of course, in the lead as he enters and begins to route this stronghold. Gonna sleep, hunger reset, and get things back on track here. And there we go, Reign once again.
Another smart death reset from Reign.
I like the play there of placing the 2 blocks rather than digging down. I think that's just a little bit faster.
Definitely good stuff. Especially because you don't have to pillar back up once you get your stuff. And yeah, Reign entering the end here.
And Reign now entering the end, sub 15. So good pace here for Reignex as Doug is crafting some beds, still triangulating towards the stronghold.
I wonder if this is a different stronghold or not that Doug is going to find.
It's a little bit tough to say. I know that there was a Extreme Hills. I think it might be the same one, but it's a little bit tough to say. I know Reign went by an Extreme Hills. I can't tell quite if this is the same one. But Reign towering up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this does look to be the same one. That's not necessarily surprising, but
No.
yes, and we can see here. Oh no, Reign getting knocked off, throwing a pearl and saving the day, but that could have been bad. That definitely could have been bad.
Definitely.
Reign now going to walk backwards, put down the crossbow, and just wait for the dragon to perch. And looks like there's the perch here for Reign. Can he finish the 1 cycle and take this map 1? You can see finishing off the dragon. 1 more. There we go. The 4+1. Looking good here. Seed 1 going to Reign. Very good stuff. A 15:30. So not bad at all.
No. Great time. Very well played by Reign. Being able to clutch up when Fortress gave him a lot with the skeletons. A lot of near-death experiences for Reign here. Very well played by Reign.
Really good stuff. Really scary seed. Really scary seed.
Honestly.
You had blazes, skeletons, ghasts all over the place. Wither skeletons as well. Just a very hard seed. We saw Doug take a death, but credit to Doug. Credit to Doug. Doug did take a death, did lose the round, but still really well played, able to recover and put himself in a position where, Reign, if Reign was slower or also took a death, Doug would have been looking really good. So credit to Reign for winning the match, and also Doug for, looking very confident even in that really tough situation.
Yeah, and Doug still has a chance to come back and take the 2nd round of this match. So, as commentators, we're always up for a 3rd match to commentate. So, very excited to see this next seed and what's in store for it.
It is definitely looking good there. I'm just seriously impressed from both runners here. Really good stuff. And congratulations, of course, to Reign there on that on the map 1. I'm excited to see future seeds here and how their difference in play, slight difference in play. That one was pretty similar. They played pretty similarly there, but the previous seed, they definitely played very differently. So, it's always interesting to see different approaches to seeds, and I'm hoping that we'll get more sort of variety there to really compare. We did see variety, though, I will say, in their Bastion routes. They did choose slightly different routes.
And, it looks like Doug is doing the cheating route, or already starting with bread and netherrack. This is a joke, by the way.
Yeah, that's a bug that happens. I don't know why.
Yes.
It's like whatever you were holding in the last one.
Turtles, Plasma.
And
Turtles in 0-0 chunk, Plasma, maybe.
Yeah, it looks so we got another ocean seed here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how they approach the seed. Last time taking very different routes in the ocean.
Yeah.
This time
to see if they do like a repeat of like what they did that first warm-up round with Doug immediately going for wood and Reign looking around, or if they're going to switch up their strats. And it looks like they have started to count down their timers, so I'll be off in about 6 seconds. 5, 4,
beginning very
3,
shortly.
2, 1. All right, and they're off.
And round number 2, Reign
is
instantly checking. Yeah,
that's what I expected.
Yeah, instantly checking there for the buried treasure, trying to see if there was anything. It didn't look like he picked up on anything, but we will see. Doug as well, getting his tools. So, it looks like Doug instantly going for the tools. Not a bad play. However, if there was a buried treasure, it is slightly faster to get that first. That way you have the iron axe to mine the trees with. But I digress. We see Reign and Doug on pretty similar pace here.
Yeah. I mean, it's expected from a seed like this that they're going to be pretty on pace with each other. But Doug entering the ocean a little bit quicker, but doesn't entirely matter. We do see an enter. That is a full mass shipwreck. So Reign getting a dolphin. So catching up a little bit to Doug here, because dolphins, as we know, are faster than boats.
Yeah, just getting a little bit of a lead there. 11 iron and a diamond. That is very good. And also some food. So a lot less scary. That is a lot of food. So this is looking very promising. And just, it's a much safer seed than some of the previous ones we've seen. But regardless, both runners going. We see no diamond shovel for Reign.
Yeah, because Reign had already crafted an iron one, I believe. Or he just, I don't know if he had already.
He may have ignored the diamond.
He did. He hovered over it and did it.
Yeah. So diamond, fun fact that might be surprising to a lot of folks, the diamond shovel is actually not faster than the iron shovel. It's the same speed. And so it's kind of a unnecessary thing to go for.
Yeah, the only reason that runners do it is to save iron. If
yeah,
say you only got like a small amount of iron, like enough to enter with an iron pick, but not enough to get a iron shovel. Getting that diamond is good for a diamond shovel because it's basically the equivalent. So Doug opting to go for it. Rain not. Either way.
Yeah.
Still solid.
Not a huge deal.
Not a huge deal, no.
Not a huge deal, but slightly different play. Once again from these runners.
Very much on pace, entering at the same spot. Ran a little bit faster enter, but that is one fast Ray.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. We can see lots of mushrooms. This seed is just food all over the place, but not necessarily to get those mushrooms. You already got 11 bread, so.
I believe I saw that's a fortress. Yeah, I was not sure if that was bridge. The glowstone made me confused there for a second, but.
And looking like they're
might be fortress first.
Yeah, I will say, going fortress first is, obviously can be faster. The big scary thing in fortress first is you have no fire resistance, and also usually no beds. You can't hunger reset. So if you have low food, it's a scary. Or no, sorry, no beds, no respawn anchors.
No respawn.
And so,
also, beds for blaze setting, but being able to mine is still an option. And Rain seemed very confident in his ability to do fortress first. So,
yeah, it's definitely good.
Also opting for that fortress first.
Yeah, it's definitely a good choice to go fortress first here. You have the just proximity on the fortress; it's right there. But also lots of food. It's a pretty easy decision from these runners.
Spawner, I believe, or very close spawners to each other. Being able to activate both. Yeah, as Light pointed out, Doug is more of a 3.1.9 and 1.15 runner, and Rain is more of a 1.16 runner. So that's why their shots tend to be a little bit different. I feel like maybe that's why Doug did not do 5RD in those Soul Sand. Don't know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that does make sense.
Doug's TV is 12.49. He's still a strong runner in 1.16, but he's more adept at other versions, I would say.
And we can see, just slightly different play, but honestly, this round has been pretty similar between the two. Both runners going to the exact same spawner, playing pretty much on pace with one another. Maybe slight differences in their play, but overall it has been quite similar. And
rod drops are standardized. I'm not sure how many Doug has at the moment.
Yes, we can see we can't see how many rods Doug has, but Rain on 2 and mining out the spawner. One thing that's may give a slight lead to Doug here, already having mined out the spawner, all these blaze spawns just gonna get more spawns on average than Rain, but Rain is working towards mining out those blazes, but getting a little bit unlucky from Rain here, having not had as much time to mine out the spawner. He's had less rods and less blaze spawns, so we'll see who gets to leave this first, but Rain taking some damage. This is it's nerve-wracking here for this player.
Again, both of them seem pretty confident on their ability to play fortress first here, so Rain on 4. I could not glimpse how many Doug had at the moment.
We will see Rain getting a 3 spawn, or a 4 spawn rather. Man, some of these rod rates are not good. Oh, that looks like this might be a death here for Rain. Oh, it's really close, barely avoiding it.
Looks like Doug has all of his rods that he needs, so he's out.
Yeah, Doug able to leave. Rain on 2 hearts. Looks like now we have a slight edge here for Doug. A break for Doug to be able to escape and now head towards this bastion. I do think this is looking very favorable here for Doug. I think just the play of mining, we saw directly there, just mining out the spawner and how that just saves so much time. And sometimes it's easy to forget, especially when you have to eat and do other things in your inventory. Forget to mine. It's easy to forget to mine out the netherite or the nether brick.
Bridge, so it's hard to tell from the backside, but we do see this chalice. So.
And Rain leaving now on 7 rods. Going to be entering soon. Nice little time save there for Doug. Entering before Rain, and we will see this.
Yeah, again, still fairly on pace with each other because Rain is at the Bastion right now. Same Bastion, obviously.
Now we can see maybe some different routes here too. Rain is very famous for his stance against dip route, but it's a very common route to see from a lot of runners. So we'll see. Maybe I didn't see if there was a triple chest on this bridge, but we may see a slight difference in their routing once again as Doug continues on into this bridge route here. And there is a triple chest, so probably going to see a very, very similar route from both runners, unfortunately.
Yes.
Rain on just slightly behind, but man, Rain's really caught up. This was looking very favorable to Doug for a while, but Rain's pretty much made up almost all that time there. I'm not even sure how exactly, but just really good work from Reignex here, able to bring this game back and make it a very, very close match.
Right. Sorry about that. I'm back. I had to deafen for a second.
No worries at all. But yes, we see Rain getting a little bit of food there, which is nice because there's some food. He's got he has some spare gold. Probably going to save that gold block for the carrots, but now on a little bit of pork, having a few cooked pork chops as well is very nice. As Rain is going to head over to this other side.
There's a lot of food for those runners. A lot of opportunity with food. As we see Doug already having those golden carrots.
Not too much obsidian there, unfortunately, on the other side, but that is okay. They may have to blind here depending on their obsidian count. Yeah, not looking great as on that front.
Yeah, I think Rain is at 9 at the moment. Looks like
there's 10. Yeah, that's 10 for Rain. That is 10 for Rain. Gonna just blind right here. Looks like.
Yep. Smart play. Obviously not being able to do anything special.
I mean, look at that. Rain's Bastion's just sharp, super, super sharp there, and able to make up all the time that he lost in the Blaze fight there.
Doug doing his portal in a little bit in a different spot outside of the Bastion instead of doing it inside where he was doing his trades. It looks like he is close to the surface, maybe. But they both did spawn underground. But yeah, Doug being able to dig up into the swamp, it looks like. Yeah, both runners very close, on pace with each other.
And Rain now blinding as well. Very similar locations here. As Doug heads off into the sunset of Kanye West.
I was wondering about that, honestly. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful flashback.
So good stuff here from both runners. But yes, we can see Rain approaching basically exactly where Doug got off. Rain choosing to spend a little more time in the ocean here while Doug gets off and maybe going to do a distance check now. Well, I think Rain we're going to see. Yeah, Rain's going to do now a distance check from this location. Honestly, though, that looked like it curved a little bit from in my head. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like possibly we have a somewhat close stronghold.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and find out. But I didn't catch the angles, but Rain now knows is going to be throwing some pearls, getting far ahead. I will say one thing that is nice. When you throw pearls, you gotta heal back up. And one thing that those pork chops are definitely going to help him with is that very thing of being able to get that saturation value and regen those hearts is really nice with the pork chops.
Yeah, and Doug has those golden carrots.
Ooh, the golden carrots. Yeah, I didn't catch that. But yeah, the golden carrots I think are even better. Matter of fact,
Doug opting to sleep through the night to help with those mob spawns. It's pretty smart. Not too much of a time loss. Though it looks like the sun is right. Is that rising? No, it's setting on Rain's screen. So Rain just boating through that ocean. Doug deciding to sleep for the night. Oh, pearl turn. Look at that.
Very nice.
Looks like it's
now
gonna be buried just out of reach of the ocean.
Unfortunate, but regardless, it is pretty close here, and we can see both these runners pretty much in the exact same location. This entire round has just been super close.
Yeah, they are basically the same hill. So I wonder when. Yep, Doug throwing his eye. Smart play before getting back into that ocean.
We may see either a stronghold routing race or just a simple who gets the purge first. We will have to see, but this is very close.
Doug triangulating, and then both runners. Well, Rain already in the stronghold. Doug digging down. They've been pretty much on pace with each other this entire match. Very cool to see. Rain finding this portal room. It's a 2-eye.
Good have there from Rain. Entering the end at 12:50.
If Doug can
slightly
find
ahead.
The portal room. We'll see.
So he's got to follow the same routing.
Was that a dungeon? I think I saw a dungeon. Interesting.
I think that was a dungeon. Doug getting baited into these hallways. This is far too. He's not in the right area. It was mid, and this is, I believe, bottom left. So not looking good here for Doug. All this time is giving Rain the possibility to get that purge first. Though of course it is anyone's game, as you know, Doug could come in and get a purge.
Going right now, I believe.
Yes, so, there we go. Correct stuff from Doug. Entering about 40-50 seconds later. Not bad from Doug at all. Credit to him, but
we'll see which dragon decides to perch first. Very close. Very well played by both runners. If Reignex does get this perch first, then Doug still played these rounds very well. And if Doug gets this perch, then we'll definitely see a third round. It'll be very close again. I feel like. Very good runners. Very well played.
Just well played to both runners. And now we see Rain and Doug just shooting. Well, now both runners in the end, of course, but one shooting out the towers, just a little bit behind Rain, who's now just standing back, waiting on the perch.
And Doug is now making his bed.
So many beds.
Do you think he gets our beds, Nerdy? I think he does.
I hope so. I sure hope so. One pearl for Rain, and the dragon. Looking like this could potentially perch, though. It's a little unclear.
Oh, this is just a risk. The perches right now. This is
and that might be a perch for Doug.
That a perch for Doug?
That is a perch for Doug.
That is a perch for Doug.
And Doug just getting the early perch. And here we go. The dragon coming down. Let's see if he can pull off the 6-bed. There's a lot of damage on the first 3. And there's the 4-bed. Even the Rain getting the perch.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, no. That's a game for Doug. Very well played to both runners. Rain getting the early end entry, but
I think Rain 3+ won that.
I think that might have been a 3. Good stuff. Very good stuff from both runners. But this will go. This will go to a game 3.
At 15:02 for Doug. Holy. That was insane. Incredibly on pace with each other. Both very well played from each runner.
Yeah, I mean, textbook play from both. I think it was really interesting because that match really did go back and forth. We saw at first Rain with the time loss in the fortress, not mining out the blazes, not getting as many spawns. But later on, just making up pretty much all that time in the bastion.
Right, I swear to God.
Rain is setting up some beds here. Let's see.
Dylan, Rain, Feinberg, and
we got Dylan, Rain, Feinberg, and Technic. Wow, incredible.
Incredible.
4 beds. He's just flexing the fact that he's got 4 left over.
And Matt, he has some very good friends too.
But yeah, I really liked the routing there from Rain in the Bastion was just super clean and able to just make back all that time. So really good stuff.
Small break before we go to the next round, by the way. So
sounds good.
Very small pinching hand. that round was inspirational. I will put it that way.
It was really it was so close. The entire round, both, the entire time it could have gone either way. Reign really good stronghold nav. I will say Reign probably overall played the seed a little bit better. Just getting into the end quicker.
Yeah,
but
Doug
able to get the perch. And I mean, maybe so, but at this, maybe Reign did play slightly better, but at the same time, Doug played fantastic as well. And so, both, he still did get rewarded for good play, even though he was slightly slower. He got the perch quicker and takes that round. But I think Reign will still probably have some confidence going into this next round. He won the first map.
At this point,
he went to the second seed, looking good.
It's up to just who can get that perch if they both get to the end again at the same time. Very interested to see what seed it's gonna be, because as we've seen technically 2 island seeds if we count the first match, and then 1 village. All I see is grass and some treetops. So we get a better view from Doug potentially. Recreating the world. And
we see, yes, them loading up these worlds, and Reign pause. This looks like just it's hard to tell exactly. Is that a rune portal in the distance? I'm not exactly sure, but
it might be, actually.
It's a little bit tricky to tell, but
we do see some
I'm not
sheep
sure
on Doug's screen, so
we will see very shortly. That is the truth.
Shortly,
we will see very, very shortly. I think now it looks like Reign's auto timer may have gone off, but that is okay. That's okay. Hopefully we'll be able to reset that and get it back on pace.
Yeah, for sure. Chat seems to believe it is a ruin portal, so that looks like what's going to be. We haven't seen a ruin portal for these 2 yet, so we did see one with the Curry versus Deck match, but not for Reign versus Doug. So I'm excited to see what this ruin portal is going to be. Plot armor for Doug. All right, it looks like both runners are going to be off very soon, in about T-15 seconds.
I'm looking forward to seeing this round. I mean, if it is a rune portals are like the theoretical fastest, theoretical fastest routes out there. So this could be a very, very good seed potentially. There's a lot of potential as we have 10 seconds going into this. Starting this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they are off.
Oh, look at that! And we were right. It's a rune portal. Both runners looking around, checking pie chart, or at least Doug was checking pie chart. Looks like it is enterable. So,
well, not exactly. We have to.
Is there fire? There's enough.
Well, no, you got to finish it with you got to get some iron somehow, though, because unfortunately there's not quite enough obsidian. So
yeah, there's not enough. Yeah, if you do get the iron, it is enterable. Looks like Reign did find a cave, so
probably be played similar to Structureless. A Structureless entry. I mean, it's not a Structureless entry technically, but it will be played similar to that. This is going to be played similar to if you just had a lava pool. But nice thing is, you got fire charges. You got to get Gapple as well.
Yeah.
And so
there is iron right here. So
yeah, Doug just jumping right into things.
To get it down, and then Reign not quite doing the exact same thing. I'm not sure what this FOV is, but
a slightly different way to play. I do prefer Doug's choice here to instead go for, getting the tools with the iron. That's just going to be a little bit faster on average.
Also, I like his play of breaking the water to get down. Reign doing the same thing. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, good stuff. That is a nice little clean play.
Reign taking advantage,
only needs to get 5 iron here, really. You have the fire charge. You don't need to get anything. You don't need to get the flint steel. You already have 1 iron, so only need to get 5.
Yep.
We may see them get 6 anyways.
Yeah, just for safety.
I'm not sure.
They do have their enter. They don't need flint. They don't need flint and steel. So let's see.
And
I wonder if either of them are going to decide to go back and kill those sheep. Could be good for a wool source and more food, since 1 Gapple is probably not going to do it. Maybe that is why Doug is getting the flint and steel to get food. He's going for the pigs, though. Killing his own kind.
Oh no, yes, a disaster here as Doug finishes off a
seen,
pig.
in the past rounds, I've seen some runners go for cows, but I've also seen I believe it was in the fine horsey match the other day. Fine went for the cows and horsey went for the sheep, if I remember that correctly. And the difference between that is getting wool, especially on villageless seed. Obviously you can still get your string traits in the bastion, but getting that extra bit of wool could be helpful because you also can get food out of that. So, though, as we know, pork chops are a better food source in general. And they are closer to that portal anyway.
Yeah, both runners, looks like range using to task overlap the iron smelting with the killing of the animals. That is good stuff there, while Doug is now entering the nether. So overall, I would say, yeah, this is played a little bit better there by Doug, just getting started on the smelting a little bit sooner. I do think Doug looks like Doug actually,
obvious, like.
yeah, it looks like, did both runners go for flint and steel? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yes,
or there might have been one. There might have been one in the chest. I'm not sure
because I know for sure Doug crafted it, so some crafted.
Okay.
So,
maybe a slight mistake there, but not much of a time loss.
I think mainly it was to get the food. Like.
Oh, true.
That's why they did it.
No, true. That's fair.
Because they had to enter the fire charge, but there was no extra food anywhere else. So, see a bastion and a fortress right off the bat. But
oh no!
But
Doug.
Doug
unfortunately looks like running into the same issue as before.
Oh no! Not again. We may
have to have another reset here. I'm not sure, but it is not looking good here for Doug.
Not again. No. Maybe Doug should stop cheating. Yes, Shuts. That's definitely what's going on here.
Well, we will, regardless, get to see at least some of this manhunt route from Reignex. Good stuff. Very well played so far.
Hopefully, Doug is not too far behind.
I think it is going to start at 0. Yeah, and there it is.
No.
That is unfortunate.
I am sad pagging. Are we gonna do another rematch?
I'm not sure.
I look very perfect. That is interesting. Yeah. That is so weird. I wonder. But it looks like we are gonna rematch this seed.
Yeah, it looks like Doug just unfortunately running into some technical issues there. Regardless, we will go into another seed here. I will say, if I was Doug, I'd be pretty upset. Just in the fact that his game crashed or whatever happened there. That bug has punished him 2 times in a row. Both when he entered, he played I would say both the rounds that he crashed in were the rounds that he played better in.
Well. Yeah, I agree.
Having the lead in both, but it's okay. It's okay. They will go into another one.
We keep moving on. Yeah, so what's happened is his nether phantomed, and then his game crashed, so it just restart from an autosave. So as we've seen before, it was 0 minutes, and then in the past one it was 5 minutes, which is a huge setback and just unfair for Doug. So we're just gonna restart these seeds, different seeds, obviously.
Unfortunate stuff for Doug, but
happen again. And hopefully Doug can figure out this issue after this last round here. Since that it's strange how frequently it's happened within like 2 rounds of each other.
And we now see them preparing up the next seed. Looks like potentially an ocean. Yeah, we can see the shipwreck in the distance there. So got another ocean seed on deck here.
Do you see a Tasha spawn? But near an ocean, like you said. So I do see a shipwreck off of Reignex's spawn.
And some good stuff from
both
both runners here.
Runners are ready to go.
Good play from both runners throughout this entire match. I mean, we've seen lots of interesting bastion routes and just good play throughout. I mean, it is tied up, but I really do think that both runners are playing exceptionally well. Not too many chokes, not too many misplays throughout. I mean, there have been some minor stuff. Doug did take like 1 death, but overall, just really, really clean play from both runners throughout this match.
All right, and the runners are going to be going in 3, 2, 1, and they're off.
They are off indeed. Looks like
Rain immediately punching trees. Doug looks around a little bit.
Yeah, I will say, normally spawn, your spawn doesn't give you too much of a lead, and I guess it didn't really in this case, but it did give Rain a little bit of an edge because he was able to spot the shipwreck off his spawn. That's a little bit of an edge.
The pause where you can see his entire screen, unlike Doug, who just does an escape menu.
And we can see pretty much the exact same setup here coming from both runners as Rain heads off towards this shipwreck. Let's see what it has to offer. Rain not front-loading as many logs there, and able to leave a little bit earlier there. Oh, actually, no, he had 18 in his inventory. My bad. I misspelled that. Looks like Rain just able to leave a little earlier, just starting the mining and just crafting a little bit quicker there, regardless.
Yeah, he definitely got those. We love to see that dolphin run in the water. But anyway, it was 11 iron, able to craft all of your tools you need. No worries about that. Yeah, 11 is a great number.
And mining up the gravel, both runners.
Both are pretty much, again, directly on pace with each other. Doug getting a little worse on his flintlock, I will say that. He does mine in a good spot, but he's heading down to the inventory right now.
And here we go, Rain finishing off the portal there, entering sub 140. Really, really good stuff from Rain here.
Great overload by Rain.
Doug able to enter a little bit later, just to, 10, 20 seconds after Rain.
You see Bastion over there, so.
And yeah, just good play overall from these runners.
What is this flintlock? Okay, there we go. Finally.
We got 2 flint at the end. Yeah, it is the curse.
Rain.
Oh no, Rain. Oh,
with no food. Probably gonna die here.
Yeah, that's a death for Rain.
Like dying here might be smarter because that way he can just reset. He's not that far behind. He only has to do his boat back to where he was. So
I don't know if he could.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate stuff. And Doug mining into the exact same lava source there.
I thought Rain lavaed himself an expert. No,
it's a lava source. That's hilarious that they both almost did that. Doug, though, able to narrowly escape that. That is wild. It's funny to see them mine into the exact same area.
Yeah, that's Doug being able to catch that. Rain unfortunately dying. However, Rain stuff is safe, and because of how far away this Bastion is, there's a good chance Rain will be able to catch up. I don't know if Doug is gonna have enough blocks. It looks like he's just gonna tower up over here. So
Rain really didn't lose too much time there.
No.
I mean, it obviously is frustrating, and definitely lost a good 30, 40 seconds, but not too bad. Deaths have been worse.
Yeah, luckily it was not far away. Luckily he can just quickly run back, get his stuff. Obviously, Doug does get an advantage from this.
Yes, and Doug now able to mine some wood.
Parkour. Getting his stuff.
Some blocks.
Rain is
back in business as we continue on here. Doug, slight lead moving in to this stables now. We can also see Rain slowly mining some of this netherrack and hoping to make his way towards the Bastion. We may see just a simple bridge here from Rain, looks like is what we're about to see. But yeah, just a normal bridge.
Yes, we get a crank from Rain. Look at that.
Very good. Massive time save in a distance like this. Speed bridging is a massive time save. Not as much in. Oh no! Oh no!
Especially because he's confident in it. Oh no, Rain. And
that's.
Oh no! Unless that happens.
Is almost a death sentence.
That is. Oh no! I was worried about that.
Frustrating stuff for Reignex.
Very sad peg. Doug.
Definitely a bit of a heartbreaker there for Rain. That death, unlike the first, that death will cost a lot of time.
Yeah,
And
especially because now he
unfortunately,
has to go back and get hope for enough iron, which there probably is going to be in the stables for a pick. I don't know why there would not be. But you know, like, there's a chance that these stables will not give enough iron, so we just have to pray for rain.
and we
Luckily,
can
he has some
see
dolphins, so.
Rain probably having to head towards a. She's probably heading towards the magma ravine. I would assume.
Yeah, I'd
Maybe
assume
hoping to
he's
mine
going
the iron out of
to.
that.
He's either going to do that, or he's going to just enter and, like, again, hope for iron.
Oh yeah, you could. Okay, I guess that's what we'll see from Rain. It looks like.
We do see Doug has got all the trades, or looks like it, and is entering the fortress. Huge lead. Rain's death really put Doug in a good position here.
Yeah, I mean this should be Doug's. This is Doug's round to lose. I mean at this point, you know, falls in his park here. I mean this is not looking good for Reignex at all. It's gonna be very, very hard for Rain to come back from this.
We believe in you, Ryan.
Rain having to speed bridge back towards the stables here. And now it looks as though Doug is taking out some wither skeletons and you know, slowly making it towards those 7 or 8 rods. Finding the blaze spawner and getting started here. Rain needs iron from this stables, which is not something that this is not part of the intended route, so there's no obligation for there to be any iron.
No guarantee at all. As we've seen in FSG before, yes, I'm bringing up FSG because I had to watch a lot of FSG. Stables and housing were the two bastions that most runners use, at least most top runners use, all the time. And iron is not a guarantee. Sometimes you won't get enough ingots, sometimes you won't get enough nuggets. So all we can do is hope. We have 1 nugget for him right now.
Yeah, so we can see there's 2 triples here, so this is good. So he's got 11 nuggets so far. He's got 18 gold, and now he's going to be just sending this stuff. Hopefully able to get some nuggets, or just some pearls and stuff.
I mean, he's able to trade. So
yeah, there you go. Honestly, yeah, it may not be necessary. He may have enough stuff already. That would be wild.
He might still want to get those extra blocks. It was on a ton of gold, but even though there was not enough, I was about to say, based on what Doug got from the stables, I don't believe there was enough iron to get an iron pick. But because he was able to get that gold, he can trade for nuggets, or he just could totally skip it because of the trades you need. Also, Reignex, I'm very disappointed in you for not taking that pick up.
And
he does get pearls, so though he might be.
9 pearls is risky to leave on, and there is a lot more though.
That is a lot more pearls. Holy!
That was incredible.
See this and skip iron, I'll be very impressed.
So lots of pearls.
Killing blazes with the iron axe, not iron axe, the wood axe, might not be the best idea, but he's able to leave. What an amazing comeback! Great pearl throw. Holy, that was nice.
I would like to point out right now that Rain is in a difficult situation in that he's got 2 hearts and no way to heal. He's got 10 crying obsidian, but no glowstone, so unable to hunger reset in the nether. Will likely have to build a portal and go back to the overworld, or just do this blaze fight on 2 hearts. 1 blaze melee, and he would be toast. Meanwhile, Doug finishing off getting rods.
These warp trees coming through the fortress. Interesting.
Regardless, I mean, wow. Oh no, that's a skeleton, and this may be game over. What? That skeleton just couldn't hit Rain.
Nope. Rain is too good. Rain is too good.
I guess that works, as Rain will now finish off some of these stray blazes. Hopefully, get a few rods.
Hit right now, or these wither skeletons.
Man, scary stuff.
Death too. Just getting hit once from almost any of these mobs is gonna be a death for Rain. and he's not an easy way to come back.
Yeah, he does have 30 obby, so he could honestly just blind out right now and
also
hunger reset.
No food. Only one more heart than Reign, but he does have a portal, so yeah. And Doug is out of saturation, so I hope he decides to hunger reset here. He is building a portal. Looks like he's building a second portal. I wasn't sure what his distance was, but we'll see here. Jungle spawn. Okay, interesting.
Definitely not the best biome to triangulate in, but oh no, Reign takes a third death. Frustrating stuff. Reign has really been good at recovering so far from his deaths, but just unfortunately,
so that death,
yet another one.
Doug finally death resetting. Huge advantage here. Huge lead. As we see Reign trying to come back. Luckily, he does have all his stuff. Hopefully, none of it burned. Hopefully, all of it is safe. But Doug is on his way to the stronghold, as we see his eye throw here. This
really
might be
frustrating.
Reign, but hopefully, we can see how much Reign is able to come back.
Reign has definitely played this somewhat risky. Unfortunately, getting punished for a lot of those risks this round. Speed bridging and not having the most. It's hard to say, but what exactly went wrong there. I think long speed bridges are just mentally sort of challenging. Maybe I'm projecting a little bit here, but
it's okay. I can't do speed bridge. So
no, but I think that there's a challenge there of speedrunning for a long time and for a long distance, and so maybe that's what went on. Maybe a little bit of nerves, who knows? But fortunately, taking that death and then next taking the death to the Wither Skeleton, that's just a hard situation. Maybe could have gone to the overworld, might have been the safe play, and hunger resetting there. But in any case, that's just challenging.
I mean, sometimes the risks pay off. Like the risks for Doug in that first match that we had to reset, they paid off for him. So it's just unfortunate because not every time the risk will pay off. So it's just it's a gamble. So.
And we can see Doug getting ready. Unfortunately, slaying another pig to continue on this seed.
Come on.
As we now have a pretty sharp eye turn there, it looks like, for Doug. And now we'll hopefully be near the stronghold soon.
If the stronghold was in the mountain. Look how tall that mountain is.
And it looks like it's just that, unfortunately. They are getting close, but...
Luckily, Doug does have a gold pick, so the dig down will be faster if it ends up turning back.
Reign heading back, hopefully able to find his stuff soon. Maybe able to get back into this. I mean, you could see that death like a very
the stronghold is definitely in this mountain.
Yeah, it does seem to be so. There, Reign goes. Did he lose much stuff? There's some pearls. There's some armor. I don't see more pearls. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's the bulk of his stuff right there. So not too bad. Not too bad. He's got his stuff back.
And he is on full health now. But Doug is digging down, and he has that gold pick. Reign definitely is far behind here. He still would have to travel. He still has to dig down to that mountain.
We're not seeing any. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any 5RD here from Reign. You can totally do it in a warped forest. It still works. Yeah. A lot of people forget to do so, but regardless, Doug now digging down. Pretty much at this point, we're gonna need to see a really bad stronghold or a really bad Ender Dragon plus an I Spy from Reign. This is not looking good. Not looking good at all for Reign.
I Spy into the portal room, and a death from Doug would do it, but
there's the portal room.
So
and he's now gonna be able to enter pretty much immediately.
Unfortunate for Reign.
It's gonna be very hard for Reign. Basically, maybe there are ways, of course. Doug could throw this still. It is possible, but it's looking very, very favorable for Doug.
It is at the moment, yes.
Rain building a portal here with that 30 obsidian. Plenty of that to spare. And finishing off these. I mean, I got to give credit to Rain, though. I mean, very, very well, you know, keep it. It's very hard to mentally stay in this game. And he's done a good job of just, you know, moving forward, keep going. So good stuff from there. And also, I mean, of course, well played to Doug. Playing the seed very, very well. And now, in the end, looks like this could be a sub 16 potentially with a dragon that decides to behave.
Yep, Doug hopefully getting a pearl here so he does not have to run for the perch. And he does.
There's a singular pearl. Rain, unfortunately, not able to do calculated as he spawns in a cave with that. Dealing with a lot of wither skeletons. He's going to have to just decide to blind somewhere out here. Not too much information he can work with, unfortunately. That is definitely frustrating for Rain.
Yeah,
this match is just not going well for him.
Doug gets the perch.
And there's the perch. This is looking like it's going to be Doug's game. Let's see. There's one bed looking pretty good. This one not too strong. That third one looks great. The fourth one and the fifth finishes it off.
GG's to both runners. Both incredibly well played. We do see these risks, and it just showcases how risks can be good and how risks can be bad. So just remember, if you're going to speed bridge, don't do it across the lava pool without taking breaks. Don't die. Easy.
Don't mess up the speed bridge. Yeah, it is unfortunate to see that death for Rain. That was definitely a bit unfortunate. Yeah, just that really cost the match, unfortunately. And then the second death as well. Well, I guess that was the third death at that point, right? There was a lot of unfortunate deaths for Rain. This was probably Rain's, definitely Rain's weakest match so far.
Yeah, it's
the
very
first two looking really, really strong. Fortunately, that last one just messing up a bit. But
again, I will
regardless, well played to Doug.
Great performance from both runners throughout the entire round. Sadly, Doug's issues with the Phantom Nether. Hopefully, we can get that sorted out. It looks like we are going to do an interview with the runners, so.
Very nice.
At least with Doug, it looks like.
Well, yes, we'll definitely have some of these outside. Doug, welcome.
Hello.
Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling?
Surprised.
Yeah, Rain unfortunately took some unfortunate deaths in that last match.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just unfortunately some a bit of a failure with the speed bridging, followed by a wither skeleton and a no food 2-heart fortress, which is never fun. But regardless, congratulations. Do you have what did you think of the rounds? Walk us through that last round. What did you think of the? I mean, you had an unfortunate spawn in the overworld when you had to, you couldn't calculate. But what did you think of the seed? Walk us through that last round there.
Well, at first when I saw the bastion, I thought it was ridiculous. I thought I was gonna have to speed bridge like 100 blocks. But yeah,
which
the
is
train
what
is
Rain
decent.
opted for, but luckily you found another way around. So.
Yeah, so we saw. So you chose to kind of go up and around. Meanwhile, Rain chose to just speed bridge and unfortunately took a death there. But I mean, yeah, very well played. I mean, I think the dragon behaved. Everything else looks good.
Yeah, I want to mention, even though the round didn't come to fruition, that first match that we had unfortunately had to reset. Your play to get those pearls and then get to that bastion, we were very impressed by that.
That was completely accidental.
I know. I mean, but still getting those pearls is incredibly lucky. It was amazing. We were very excited to see that. And then that gas almost shooting you off.
Oh yeah.
Rain went to a different bastion in that one.
Was there a different one?
There was a different one. I think he had housing. He had a treasure, if I recall correctly. So, but he still was able to get that bastion pretty on pace. Like most of the rounds, you two were like on pace with each other, except for that last round. You actually dug into the same lava that Rain died the first time.
That's true. You guys both dug. Yeah, he actually took a death early on. It didn't cost him too much time, but he took a death where, I don't know if you remember the lava you dug into before entering the bastion. Like
on the hill.
Yeah, Rain died in that exact lava, and then you a few seconds after went to the lava. It was a little bit scary, but you avoided it very masterfully. So well done there.
Yeah, very well played from you and Rain. It was incredibly entertaining to watch. I hope your Minecraft is okay.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened.
I'm very surprised that happened twice. Because it's not supposed to happen often. So hopefully you can look into that, see if there's an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very good stuff. Yeah, it was a bit strange, like the Phantom Nethers. I don't know, but I'm sure y'all will figure it out soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully that gets sorted, because we do not want to see that on a good run. That would be very unfortunate.
But yeah, very well played.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was there anything else you want to mention, or?
Yeah, any last thoughts there?
Not really. I did not expect to win this at all.
Yeah,
Rain's a much better player than me, but I'll take it, I guess. GG.
I mean, just circumstance. Rain still played very strongly. He was able to, like, on other rounds, he had deaths as well, and he was able to come back, like, be very close on pace with you. I believe there's one round where you just got, I'm not sure, was that the round that Rain got the perch? I think it was you, Doug, that got the perch just slightly ahead of Rain. I think that was the one you won. So, very close. Yeah. Very well played. I wish you best of luck in your next match. I believe you're going to play Curry, if I recall correctly.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yes, and we will bring up those next matches next week. Very exciting stuff.
Yep.
And
very exciting matches.
Yeah, really.
A lot of top
we got Illumina versus Crooks. I'm very excited for this match. That is two very, very skilled players.
And then
followed
Fine and Ral as well.
Fine and Ral, that's a great one. Sizzler and Dylan, another fantastic match. And then you will be going against Curryway, Doug. So, you have any words to Curryway? Any last things before we head off here, Doug?
Nope.
No. Okay. You know, fair enough. Fair enough. I respect it. But
good luck.
But yeah, good luck in that match, and yes, stay tuned, folks. There will be these 4 matches coming up next week. So yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic stuff all around.
Yeah, really excited to see how this turns out. There's still a lot of opportunity for upsets, for good plays. Again, these runners are all very good. Definitely going to see a lot more of like what happened to Sven. The runners on pace with each other. All these rounds are going to be so interesting to watch. Do not miss them. Make sure to tune in. So,
yes, of course. I think personally, man, I don't know. All 4 of those matches look fantastic. So I'm very excited to check in on those.
Yes.
But yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for coming out today. We're gonna send the raid over to somebody. I'm not sure who yet. We're raiding Reignex, it looks like. So, maybe not. We're gonna raid somebody, but definitely go to that raid.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming by.